Hey there, YouTube. It is time. We are finally ready. I am finally ready to weather the interior of the cruiser. Last night I went ahead and did the interior of the D110. That video should be up here in a second. It'll be up by the time this one's posted for sure. And learned some things. Didn't come out amazing, but I learned a little bit how to use some of my new stuff here. We've got the pigment binder and the Vallejo wash, sepia. Don't know how you say that. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and do the cruiser. I've already taken it apart. I do want to warn everyone, if you take the interior in and out several times, the screws that go here into the body, mine started stripping out, so now they're basically useless. I'm going to have to pack it full of glue and put the screws in and hope it holds. And another tip, I did put this interior together with the paint still a little tacky, so that did help hold everything together a little better. Good or bad, if you're done with it, that's great. If you're going to take it back apart and weather it like I am, bad. The dash especially, I put glue down in those holes that the dash seats down into, and that was a pain in the rear to get out. I was hammering with a flathead screwdriver in there and did get it, didn't break anything, so should be alright going back together. So here's the game plan for this. I'm going to do pigment binder, black pigment on the floor, get in the cracks, getting all the grooves that I can, the edges and things like that. And then once that dries, we'll come back with the pigment binder and the burnt umber. And then what that's going to do is going to come out similar to the fenders and the hood of the cruiser body. We're going to hit the tops of the ridges here on this styrene bed floor that we've put in. And hopefully that makes it look like those have been scraped down and have rusted over time. And then for the flat black seats, the seats come black, the roll bar and everything's black, and I did go ahead and spray them flat black. Just looks more scale to me. We're going to see, I haven't tried it yet, but this sepia wash, we're going to put that on the flat black seat. And as we learned in the D110 video, we can't let that set too long. Even on the black, it probably won't show as bad. But just to see if we can add a kind of dingy vinyl look to it, because all these seats are vinyl from the factory. So we just want to kind of muck it up a little bit. We went to a garage sale yesterday morning here in Texas, and right, only in Texas you find a 70s FJ for sale at a garage sale. It was beautiful. I didn't even bother asking how much they wanted for it. It had a nice paint job, but it didn't have a top, it didn't have doors, so I got to look in it a little bit and nose around. I didn't get any pictures of the inside, but I did take some pictures of the outside just for posterity, so I can make sure mine's correct. But yeah, it's this kit is very accurate. I did put the spare tire on the wrong side on my cruiser body. For some reason I thought the one I had when I was little, it was on the other side. Some of the pictures I saw online, it was on that side and the emblems were on the passenger side. But apparently those are foreign model, European models maybe. They reversed it. But that's not a big deal. It's still scale. So we're gonna start with the floor and do the black pigment and the pigment binder. Alright. Let's hit my head on the light. I'm going to start with the pigment binder. I'm going to do the floor first. And it's still got a little bit of brown on there from doing the D110 last night. I'm just going to go ahead and soak the entire floor down. Get the back cracks. Get around the tire wells. Ooh, a little too much in there. I took the Challenger tires off my cruiser. I was going to strip the tires down. I've ordered some new foams for it, some firm 1.9 foams. And I was like, well, what do I have laying around to put on here? So I put the 155 black steel wheels and the, where are they? Mudslingers. Put that on there just for the meanwhile. Now I'm really liking how they look. So we'll have to see what we end up keeping on there, because right now it looks pretty dang good. And do the pigment. And get it in all the cracks. Nice and grungy. I'm going to go ahead and hit over here while we're there. You can see this alright. This is a lot bigger area than it looked like. Make sure we get all around all the edges. One of the things I've learned with the pigments and all the wash and everything, you don't want to do too big an area at one time, because if you need to wipe it, like this it's pretty serious. You don't want to let too much of it dry completely before, or won't be an even finish. Oop. Gotta get my little fan going here. It doesn't make the noise too bad. Alright, I'll start over here where we started. In the cracks. I'm having a hard time seeing because of the glare. It's tough to get down in here. Go ahead and get it all over that back wall too. Anywhere it's going to be able to see it. Now this would be a lot easier without the seats in the front, but a lot of the stuff that I glued in was easy to get out, but the seats have a lot more surface area in the that goes through the bottom here to glue, and I was afraid I would break them if I tried to get those out. So I left the seat backs in. I just have to see how it goes. Not looking very even. I'm gonna hit the tops of these. Chunk of junk up there. Alright, so it's looking alright. There's a little spot there. Let that dry for a minute. I'm going to go ahead and hit the front floorboards. And it's not really we're going to have to wipe this differently because I don't have there's nowhere for the stuff to stay. Oh, we got enough black on there still. We don't have anywhere for the pigment to get in other than the tire well, or the transmission tunnel, I'm sorry. The humps for that. So, I'm going to let that one set a little bit longer before we wipe it. You don't have to go real high. The dash sticks down all the way to here on the tower, the tunnel, and the door panels overlap a good bit there, so I'm not gonna go crazy with trying to get all the edges and stuff on there. But I am gonna put a lot of the pigment in there. And this is just the base, so I'm gonna come back here in a little bit with the rust color and see if we can't make it look more natural. Trying to get around the shifters and stuff. I really didn't want to try to take those off because I mean they're glued in pretty well. So we'll just work around them. They're gonna be a pain to get the towel or the shirt in there. So we'll go ahead and hit the front of the seat bases. A little pigment. Oh, need more liquid. No, you can't see that, but hard to get in there. Oh, I can't even see it at all. We pretty much blacked out the entire front floorboard here. We'll let that dry for a minute, and then we'll come back and wipe it. Alright, I went ahead and wiped the front. See down there a little bit. I think it looks pretty good. I'm gonna leave some of the unusual looking marks and stuff on there. For one, you're not gonna be able to see it very well because it is the floorboard, and I do plan on finding me a driver here before long, so I'm just gonna roll with that. I'm gonna go ahead and hit up here. I know the seat covers a lot of this, but You got to make it look natural for under the seat edge. Go ahead and get on top because that one edge is exposed up here. Alright, let's go ahead and get our pigment. Make sure we get plenty of it in the back. Go ahead and hit the back wall here, the edge. Get up here a little more. Yeah, might as well do. I think we gotta do the top too. Let's hit that. Back with a little pigment. Oh, too much. Make sure that all the exposed edges get some kind of coverage. I want to have a big open spot and look tacky. Big clean spot, I mean. Make sure all that is out of the way so we don't knock it over. Oh, let's see. Yep, I just touched it. And I got it all over me. Got a little bit more in the bottom here. Wipe that top edge down a little bit. Shoot, I don't want to knock over that. Oh, the key to wiping it down is to not use the same spot of the shirt. Don't want to get it too wet or it'll just wipe everything off. Keep moving around different sections of the shirt. Alright, a little more on this side. So here's what we're looking at so far. It looks kind of dingy. Let that dry for a bit. See, we've got it good down in the cracks. The floor's discolored a little bit. That's going to be good. I'm going to go ahead and get ready for the rust color next. Alright, so the burnt umber I'm strictly just going to do on the floor for now. I'm going to hit the tops of the bed floor, if you call it that. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just wherever. Go ahead and hit those. And now I'm going to grab the burnt umber. Let's do it lightly first. I haven't tested this. This is just guessing that this is going to look good. Let's go a little more over here. That a little too wet. Don't really care. It's going to look natural. You just kind of throw it around. It doesn't have to be perfect. There's no rules as to how to do this. It's going to look how it's going to look, so just going to let it get in there where it's going to get. Let that dry for a second, then we'll come back and wipe it. Alright, so I did wipe that, but it came off a little easier than I intended, so smeared a little bit more around and let it set a little bit longer this time. Just trying to get it on those raised areas, because that's going to be the first thing to scratch if you actually hauled anything in here. I think it's looking pretty good so far. Not much you can do with the front floorboard, it being smooth. I don't know how to make it naturally, just freehand like that. It's gotta, with the bed and the rear, I can kind of make it work, but front's different, so we'll just see. We'll go up there with the rust here in a minute. We'll go ahead and wipe some of this. Trying just to hit in the recessed areas. It's not working very well. It looks alright. We'll let it dry. I'm not going to wipe anymore. We'll just go from there. Certain angles it looks pretty good. Alright, so we'll go ahead and do the front. Get a little rust up there. I'm just going to smear that back like that so it looks like somebody's been kicking it and getting in and out and just wearing it down. That's all I can figure to do. Yep. A little bit of rust. A little more on this side. If I can get it over here. And just kind of do that in the middle so it looks like it's wear and tear from feet hitting it and all that. Just knocked over that binder. I'm going to let that sit for a minute before we come back. Alright, let's go ahead and wipe the front. It's hard to get down in here. So I'm going to leave it like it is. Alright, I'm going to let that one dry for a bit. And then we'll come back and start the door panels and a dash. Alright, got the main interior piece back drying. I'm going to go ahead and start the door panels. These have lots and lots of little nooks and crannies here for, if I can get to zoom, there we go, to get the pigment down in. I'm going to start with the black and the pigment binder. Well, I guess we'll start with brown since that's what's on the brush. And again, I'm just going to do the entire thing. Get in all the grooves, all the cracks. And I do want to pay attention to the tops here, because that's, you can see that from the window. We need that to look the part. I painted all that silver trim just using a silver paint marker. I'll end up with this stuff all over me. That's the name of the game. Getting all the little cracks and crevices. Oop, too much. These will be easier since they're off. They're on their own. I can wipe them down better. I'm gonna let that one sit while I go ahead and hit the other one. Not sure what that little round thing is there. In the pictures I saw it was silver. Looks like a little tweeter, but I doubt these had tweeters on the radio. They barely have radios at all. Hope you can see that. Sorry, I've been holding it out of camera shot. Alright. Go ahead and wipe the first one now. Hoping this stays in the cracks and stuff better. Oh yeah. Look at that. That is awesome. I'm trying to decide if I want to wipe a little more. I don't want to wipe too hard because then you get too clean of a spot. So trying to go with the flow of things, not wipe off more than we can handle there. I'm going to let that one dry and put it over here by the fan for now. I did leave quite a bit along the top. I really want that to show its age. I'll let this one sit just a second longer. It looks a little wetter. So we'll come back. I'll go ahead and do that and then we'll come back. Alright, while the door panels are drying with the black, I'm going to go ahead and figure out what to do with the dash here. I don't want to do too hard on the dash. I don't want to mess up my stickers. You got your 4-wheel drive shifting instructions and my gauge pack there. But I do need to get around the buttons and around the edges of the gauges. You can see some of the paint came off from where it was stuck to the door panel. That's why it's not good to put it together while the paint's still damp, but I'm impatient, so it is what it is. Go ahead and just hit everything. Try to go around my graphics. I did, on the D110, I did weather around the stickers on the dash and they did wipe right off. So I guess it'll be okay. Just gonna go ahead and do over everything. Heck with it. And not sure how it's going to turn out on this flat black. We'll see. I may not go real heavy on the black, obviously, because it's black already. But we want it to look uniform. And I am going to go ahead and get down here a good bit, because you can see some of that. I'm going to go all the way back, but I can get the pedals too. Why not? All that lip on the front. Alright. A little black. Here goes everything. Let's get a lot on that. Make that look pretty good. It's going to be hard to wipe around that steering wheel, that's for sure. That steering wheel is barely on there. That was one of the complaints I had about the kit. The way that steering wheel attaches it. It's not the most secure piece on here. Alright. Alright, we'll let that dry for a second and then we'll come back. Alright, let's go ahead and wipe this thing down and see what we got here. Try to get some of these tight spots first. Get off my gauges there. There we go. Alright, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna get some of this on the bottom. Try to get between those pedals. Alright, we're going to set that up and let that dry with the door panels. So make sure we're in focus here. Just not too bad. Just a little layer of years of grime. Let this dry. I may go back to the floor here for a second. Alright, I want to see what this sepia wash will do to the black seats. Find my brush here and kind of clean it. I don't know what this is going to do. These are smooth and non-textured, but I just need to add a layer of something to them so they're not perfectly smooth and even. I mean, there are a few paint imperfections in it, but use these back seats as guinea pigs. We'll see what happens. I may just coat these and let them dry, and we'll see what it looks like. Put that over the fan. Try to do the same amount. Oops, a little more. You see that's kind of just brown. Watered down acrylic paint is what these are. Got a little more on this one than I intended. See, I've got this stuff all over my fingers. But it does wash off pretty well being acrylic. Thankfully it's not oil paint. I got a little too much on there. Alright, we're going to put this in front of the fan and see what happens. Alright, well the seats are dry. We go back to the door panels, and they look pretty good. I'm really happy with them. I am going to hit them slightly with the rust pigment. Just in a few spots. I'm not going to go overly crazy because they look pretty much how I wanted right now. I'm going to put a little bit down here at the bottom, maybe a streak right there, and I'm going to do some on the top. Go ahead and hit the other one in the same, similar spot. I don't want it to be exactly the same. I'm going to dip the pigment. Let that sit. I'm going to let that sit for a minute before we wipe it. Alright, I did go ahead and wipe those. Not going to press my luck. I got a little bit of rust in there. Oh, come on. There we go. Mainly I just wanted some along the top because that's the part you can see from outside. A little bit at the bottom and the middle. It looks pretty good. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to press my luck. I'll put these back over here to dry. And let's see where our seats are. So, can't really tell. It's not really wiping. This one's got all over my hand. I'm going to go ahead and wipe that down. That looks terrible. I've been kind of looking into actually covering these in vinyl. I saw in one of the forums someone had done that. I just haven't been able to find a fine enough grain vinyl that would look the part. But this mucked them up a little bit. I'm not too worried about it. The main thing that you're going to see is how the base color, the seafoam, has weathered, and that's most important. I think we've done that pretty well on the door panels and stuff. Let's go ahead and wipe a little bit of pigment binder on the front seats. Clean the brush down. Just going to do a little bit here. And try to get it in those cracks with the seat. See, maybe this seat having a texture or those grooves in it, maybe it'll show up better. Start with the seat backs. Just kind of rub it down in there. Go ahead and do the bottoms. Splattered out all over the floorboard. Guess it don't really matter. It's going to be dirty anyway. Go ahead and coat them all pretty good, and then I'm going to wipe them pretty quick. Just see, we'll get up there on those headrests too. That corner. We'll go back and do the backs too. We don't want to forget the backs. Need it to look even. Get it off the seat base in the front. And this is more what the look I was hoping for. That's working out a lot better. It has somewhere to go. It falls into the grooves of the seat. If you can see that, it looks a little better. It'll look really good once it dries completely. Get it out of the light there. It's hard to get that to show up while it's wet. Let's go ahead and just slather it on the backs. Let that sit for a minute, and not for too long. We saw how it did on the back seats, which are smooth. Should get even coverage. Go ahead and hit up top again. Make sure it's even. Sides a little bit more. Alright. Let that dry a little bit. This new little fan here. We'll come back here in a second. Alright, so the seat backs, they didn't really do anything. It's still a little damp. I'm going to go ahead and let everything dry and put it back together, and then we'll come back and get a look of what it finally looks like. See how well it matches the body. And fingers crossed. Alright, we're all back together. Let's see if I can get the camera angle the right way. Not as weathered as the exterior because obviously it's been sitting in the field with the top on it. Still a little bit of wet in there. Well, the lighting's too bad. You can see the dash isn't too bad under the roll bar there. See a little bit of black marks. Door panels are the most important. To me anyway. I think they came out really well. Turn it a little more. It's really hard to show you. I'm pretty happy with it. Now I gotta try to figure out some scale accessories to go in there and weather. Let me adjust the camera here, I'll be right back. I did want to show, I do have the 155s on here with the mudslingers. I don't know, it looks so much better now than it did when I did the tire option video. It looks better to me anyway. And I did throw a 155 spare on there I had. It sticks out a little far. I may have to do some work on that. Tuck it in a little tighter to the body, but we'll cross that bridge. Still have, if I keep these wheels on here, I'm not sure I'm going to weather them. I may just let them get banged up on the rocks and get dirty naturally. Still need to do the bumpers. I'm not 100% certain I'm going to do the entire chassis. I think I may just do the bumpers, the part that sticks out, and see how it goes from there. We'll let the rest of it get beat up and dirty on its own. But this thing's looking pretty good. I'm really happy with the interior and how it looks with the top off right now. Thing looks pretty mean. So hopefully in about a week from the time this video will be up, hopefully we can get it out and drive it. I've started building a small course in my backyard. Not really a course, I'm just messing around. I got a bunch of bricks and a bunch of rocks, and I'm kind of burying them and packing them with dirt and trying to make something where you can see it crawl. I just barely got started today. I had to mow, so Didn't have a whole lot of time to work on it, but that's coming up. I do have some time off work coming up here in the next week, so we'll see where we get. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and share with your friends and in forums and with everybody that's interested in these cruisers or any of the scale crawler genre. There'll be some more videos coming out real soon. Thank you.